Imagine a vast, ancient metropolis, the capital of the most powerful and culturally advanced empire of its age. This was Chang'an, known today as Xi'an. In the 8th century AD, it was one of the largest and richest cities on Earth, the beating heart of the Tang Empire, and a major crossroads of the Silk Road. Merchants, monks, diplomats, and scholars from across Eurasia crowded its broad avenues. Yet beneath the soil of modern Xi'an lay secrets far more intriguing than gold, jade, or even the famous terracotta warriors. During large-scale excavations on the outskirts of the city, Chinese archaeologists uncovered more than 4,000 burials dating to different historical periods. Most belong to the Tang Dynasty, which ruled China from 618 to 907 AD. Tang burial customs were highly standardized. The dead were usually laid on their backs with their limbs extended according to established traditions. Among thousands of ordinary graves, however, researchers discovered something extraordinary. 4 skeletons had been buried in a completely different way. The bodies were seated with their legs crossed and knees spread apart, in the classic Lotus position. Who were these people? Enlightened Buddhist masters? Foreign pilgrims from distant lands? Members of a secret religious sect? Or victims of an unusual ritual? To answer these questions, archaeologists joined forces with paleogeneticists, isotope specialists, and biochemists. The mystery would ultimately be investigated through ancient DNA, chemical traces preserved in bones, and advanced laboratory technology. Working with ancient DNA is one of the most difficult tasks in modern science. After death, genetic material rapidly breaks down due to moisture, bacteria, oxygen, and temperature changes. In many ancient skeletons, less than 1% of the surviving DNA actually belongs to the deceased person. The rest comes from microorganisms that colonize the remains over centuries. Researchers extracted DNA from the densest parts of the skeleton, particularly the petrous bone of the inner ear and tooth roots. Working in sterile laboratories designed to prevent contamination, they isolated tiny fragments of genetic material and sequenced them using next-generation sequencing technology. Powerful computers then reconstructed the genomes by comparing millions of DNA fragments with modern human reference genomes. The scientists analyzed the 4 Lotus position individuals alongside 11 people buried normally in the same cemeteries. Radiocarbon dating revealed that the unusual burials span more than a century. One individual was an elderly woman who died between 652 and 709 AD. 2 others were middle-aged men, while the last was an older man who died between 758 and 880 AD. This discovery immediately ruled out explanations involving a single catastrophe, epidemic, execution, or ritual suicide. Instead, it suggested a rare but enduring burial tradition that existed in Chang'an for generations. The first hypothesis appeared obvious. Because the Lotus position is strongly associated with Buddhism, perhaps these individuals were foreign monks or pilgrims who had arrived from India or Central Asia. DNA evidence told a very different story. Scientists examined thousands of genetic markers and compared them with ancient and modern populations across Eurasia. 3 of the Lotus position individuals proved to be genetically typical Han Chinese, the dominant population of northern China. The 4th individual presented a surprise. His DNA contained a mixture of Northeast Asian, Southern East Asian, and West Eurasian steppe ancestry. His genetic profile reflected centuries of migration and interaction along the Silk Road. At first glance, this seemed significant, but comparison with the other skeletons revealed an important fact. Several individuals buried in ordinary positions also possessed mixed ancestry. The unusual burial posture showed no unique genetic pattern. This became one of the study's most important conclusions. If all 4 seated individuals had belonged to a specific ethnic group, researchers could have interpreted the Lotus position as an imported cultural tradition. Instead, genetics demonstrated that these people were part of the same diverse population as the rest of Chang'an. The burial practice was therefore connected not to ancestry, but to personal beliefs, social identity, or religious choices. Scientists next turned to isotope analysis of carbon and nitrogen preserved within the bones. Human skeletons preserve a long-term record of diet. Carbon isotopes reveal which crops a person consumed, while nitrogen isotopes indicate how much animal protein was present in the diet. If the deceased had been strict Buddhist monks, researchers expected evidence of vegetarianism and ascetic living. The results completely overturned that assumption. The individuals buried in the lotus position ate essentially the same food as ordinary residents of Chang'an. Their diet included millet, rice, and substantial amounts of animal protein. Evidence even suggested they probably consumed alcohol. Far from being starving ascetics, they appear to have been prosperous members of urban society who participated fully in everyday life. This forced researchers to reconsider the meaning of the lotus position. To understand the answer, it is necessary to look at the cultural environment of the Tang Dynasty. Chang'an was one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. Buddhism, Taoism, Nestorian Christianity, Manichaeism, and Zoroastrianism coexisted within the empire. Religious ideas traveled freely along trade routes, and cultural influences mixed on an unprecedented scale. Buddhism enjoyed enormous prestige during the Tang era. Emperors sponsored monasteries, financed temples, and promoted Buddhist scholarship. Buddhist symbols became deeply embedded in daily life, extending far beyond monastic communities. Researchers believe that the lotus position gradually evolved from an exclusively monastic practice into a broader symbol of piety, spiritual purity, and hope for a favorable rebirth. The four individuals may therefore have been devoted lay Buddhists rather than monks. They lived ordinary lives, ate ordinary food, and enjoyed worldly comforts. Yet when death approached, their relatives may have carefully arranged their bodies in the lotus position as a final act of faith. Such a burial could have symbolized readiness for rebirth in the pure land of Amitabha Buddha and served as a visible declaration of religious devotion. This interpretation is supported by the broader social trends of the period. Across Tang China, religious identity often extended beyond formal institutions. Ordinary people borrowed symbols, rituals, and beliefs from different traditions. Spiritual prestige became an important part of personal and family identity. Researchers point to similar examples from other archaeological discoveries. Elite tombs from the same era often contain objects intended to demonstrate status, education, and cultural sophistication in the afterlife. The lotus position may have functioned in a comparable way, expressing religious aspiration rather than clerical rank. Nevertheless, alternative explanations remain possible. Some individuals may have suffered from severe joint diseases, spinal disorders, or other medical conditions that left their bodies fixed in a seated posture. Medieval medicine offered few effective treatments for such conditions. The influence of little-known religious groups or local burial customs also cannot be completely ruled out. Whatever the final explanation, the study demonstrates the extraordinary power of modern archaeology. Excavation alone could never have revealed the full story. Ancient DNA analysis, isotope chemistry, radiocarbon dating, and advanced computing allowed researchers to reconstruct aspects of identity, ancestry, diet, and belief that would otherwise have remained hidden forever. The four people buried in the lotus position were neither mysterious foreigners nor legendary saints. They were ordinary inhabitants of a vibrant, multicultural metropolis. Their remains reveal a society where people of different backgrounds could share common beliefs, common hopes, and common visions of the afterlife. More than 1,000 years later, science has finally allowed their silent message to be heard. Behind every unusual archaeological discovery stands a real human being, with fears, faith, ambitions, and hopes not so different from our own. Through the combined efforts of archaeologists, geneticists, and historians, these long-forgotten residents of ancient Chang'an have spoken once again across the centuries.